Well, hello everyone, it's me, Silent. Good to have you here again. We're actually here uploading this at a decent time for one, so I'd like to welcome you to another daily After Trash PC Player. Welcome, everybody, and we actually have some good news, everyone. Good news. Now, it's nothing super great news, because that would involve me actually being able to buy my computer, and then we can set that up for the next couple of days. However, it's still pretty good news. So, in good news and kind of relatively bad news, so my phone has been going through a bit of a midlife crisis. And by midlife crisis is things are falling off, things aren't working as they used to. So, in essence, the charging port on my phone stopped working. And so I needed to start using a wireless charger. And upon starting that, things started to really fall apart. And by what do I mean started to fall apart? Well, I mean that quite literally. So I know for a fact that the front of my phone has been has been broken for approximately over 2 years. And again, nothing without its care, nothing without its reason. But at this point, it's been a minute. So I have not had my phone being on crack for approximately over 2 years, at least. So why did it happen? Well, the reason why it happened was because I was taking care of my dog, and upon wearing some of the shittiest pants I'm never gonna fucking wear again, I proceeded to break them as I was getting out of a car. And I was very pissed since then. So, what I started doing is, A, I'm not wearing those pants, and B, I had to be really careful with my phone. And I've been trying to be careful with my phone regardless, but it happens. It's just, again... no, you're not perfect. Things happen. Things fall out of your pocket. So, things went on for a couple of years like that, so... It happened. Broke it. Been thinking about it since. Didn't have the money back then to kind of fix it, so... I was very pissed, to put it lightly. That was my first one I ever bought, so... That was one thing. So this is going to be the second one I bought. And I bought a refurbished Samsung S24 Plus, is what I bought. Again, as much as I'd like to kind of go like all the new gen Samsung kind of stuff, I also didn't want to go Samsung explicitly because I just did not want to really kind of go back into the Samsung ecosystem so much. Because that's just kind of how being stuck in it just kind of sucks sometimes. With mostly, I'm not sure. It just hasn't really been feeling like it because I wanted to kind of get out of it because it feels like I've been kind of stuck in it because it's kind of like being in Windows for a long time. It's like I've been sitting at it because it's been consistent ever since my S7 Plus Edge, I think, and I moved them to S10 Plus Edge, I think, and then I'm now at the S24, right? So it's been a journey. It's been like a couple of years now. It's been like a decade, I think, since I've been kind of a Samsung guy. Most of my stuff is Samsung that I can get realistically, so. I would definitely say I'm a bit of a Samsung enjoyer, at least quality-wise. I like their profile stuff. It's Android generally. Now I understand that they're kind of, I think Google or Android is trying to close their ecosystem, which is not something I'm kind of really wanting to deal with, because again, Android kind of just would like to have continuous, open systems and shit without dealing with that bullshit. So they don't want to deal with it. But here I am, so. I was originally going to get the S20 Plus, based on the kind of like the cost on it, but I decided to kind of up it a little bit, because it's been a couple years since that has been out. And since that happened, right, I was kind of looking kind of like, okay, so what would I get for like another $100, right? So, again, it's kind of like one of those, essentially one of those, whatchamacallit, pros and cons list kind of essentially, right? So what's the benefit, right? So literally did a ChatGPT kind of thing. Again, don't like AI, but it has its uses. It's just kind of a better engine. We start comparing stuff, right? So essentially throw it into a prompt, said, hey, what's the difference between these two, right? So difference in cost about $130. $130, that's like a huge amount. That's like a day's worth of labor, right? Now, here's the thing, right? A day worth of labor, for me, would imply many years of like just kind of security. And in my opinion, just a day of me just kind of working away is probably worth it. for 7 more years of essentially updates, right? That's kind of the main thing. So, with that in mind, I decided to go with the S24 Plus. Now, one of the things that I was kind of disappointed in, and it's something with just Samsung has been doing, is that they took out the headphone jack. Now, it hasn't really been a big deal for me because I have some in my list about stuff I want to buy as well. So that's one thing. The second thing would be, because these are earbuds I'm talking about, right? I had some in my list. How much would it cost me? Probably about $80, $100 again. Still expensive. Now, the reason I didn't even think about it is because over the years, over like the past couple of years, I've kind of come to realize that I don't really use my earbuds as much as I used to. Which is a good thing, because I've been mostly using them for my computer, for one thing. The second thing would be that I don't really use them, period. It's one thing, I'm using them only for my computer, and I don't use them in general for anything else. So, that wasn't really a problem anymore. Earphone jack, don't really use it. Just have it just regularly just on my stuff and things, so I just moved on. So that was a bit of a thought, essentially like a thought, not a thought experiment, but just like just like essentially just an analysis, a thought analysis. I think is what it would be broken out into. So I ended up taking just kind of like a hot minute to just kind of think about what would happen.
Let me be your blade.
So once I did that, right, because realistically, I've been thinking about it for over like a couple of years now, because I didn't have the money back then to kind of really do that. So took the time, thought about it, and once I thought enough about it, I came up to 2 conclusions. Right, so I need to analyze the new generation of phones. Would be the first thing, because as much as I'd like to kind of go with like an older, like real older version of a phone, because like, oh, there's cheaper. There, you kind of do fall through the cracks of like, A, support would be the first thing, and B, is this really that high or like that well developed that it would not be worth $100? Because again, my phone I got over like approximately 5 years ago. Yeah, I got it back in and I think it's 4 years ago actually. I got it back in 2022, I think originally. So that phone, the S10 Plus Edge I got back then, was leaps and bounds of what I used to have. So it's approximately a very like scale of difference of like from what was essentially like 64 gigs, maybe not 128 gigs, to what was 512 gigabytes of data, which insane. So from then on, I wanted to keep it at that much, at least. I realistically wanted about a terabyte, but I kept looking at stuff and I'm like, I don't know if I want an ultra. Especially with the new generation of stuff. What I would kind of end up having to deal with, right? Because it is another $200 at that point, and it's like, so for double the storage is definitely worth it, but it's also not really what I'm looking for necessarily, because again, I could do with less space, and realistically, it's just the amount of space I have by default at this point. So it's not less space; it's the same amount of space. It's just a matter of me managing it better. Which realistically, what I'm gonna be doing, or kind of going through, right, is gonna be one of 2 things, right? So my phone is still working. My older phone is still working. So I'm gonna go through, if it downloaded all my camera roll, I'm probably gonna delete most of it. But I'm gonna do that just by hand, because I would like to use kind of recent stuff, because some of the stuff that's on my phone, at least picture-wise, for example, is stuff that I honestly use for deals. It's mostly kind of like discount stuff that I'm like I have to remember here and there. It's pretty simple stuff to remember, kind of things, but the stuff that I'd like it on my phone, Samsung Notes, for example, I'd like to keep my notes on that one. I think my games is primarily what I'd like to kind of just make sure that I have everything transferred over. Applications that I kind of downloaded. And without like Google Play directly. Kind of making sure that all that stuff is downloaded. But once that's done, right, the management becomes okay. So I downloaded everything, right, that I needed to. I need to go through it because what it says is it's downloading is about 200 gigabytes of data, right? So it's a good chunk. I have to manage it, make sure it's fine, and from there on we can kind of move on to see if I need to delete some stuff, add some stuff, or well, that's kind of the management things, right? So I have to see what I need, what I don't need. Do I need to cap 20 copies of the same shit? I did that before. I actually deleted 12 gigabytes on my phone because I have just that much duplicated data, right? And it's just like, take for example, I had like a bunch of pictures that I just never deleted, right? I have probably, in all honesty, I probably have like a lot of screenshots of me taking picture of my stove, because I'm a very forgetful person, and I'm not even at that age where I just have bad memory, so I just take a picture, make sure that it's off, so I can sleep. And that, for example, I probably don't need like pictures from a couple months ago, because if I'm still alive, I definitely did not leave it on, kind of thing, right? So that's one thing, right? Now once I take care of that, what's gonna happen is we're actually gonna start doing more mobile stuff because my older phone kind of stopped working with my capture card, and I'm not sure why. That's one thing, and the second thing is performance wasn't really up to my standard again. And I was like, okay, so let's see if I can kind of get like at some point like some newer stuff. I didn't really want to buy it unless I needed to, right? And now that I need to, I'm considering, okay, so maybe I could probably play around with it at some point. Oh my god, what the fuck? Dude, what the hell? So you can't even use the fucking corals that you got before. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of bullshit. So does this disappear after a while, or user exchange for materials in the elusive coral shop? So they added one. I hope this is for collabs from now on. This lasts until then. Shadowforge Tide. In the following weapon coming: Spectral Trigger and Skull Thrasher. Oh, so this is just for these things. So this is for 30. So these currencies are for 37 days. That's kind of insane, actually. Because I was looking into this, I wasn't sure if I was able to even use anything. Accumulate attempts with meaning with the following events. How do I get this? So this is just by standard, right? So you can actually use regular pools on this. Collab, yeah. Tuning 20 times or more to obtain 2 pulls. So you get 2 pulls off this. It's regardless of what collab I get, right? So if you summon on this one, you're probably chilling. But that's crazy, actually. So this is only after pulling on this thing, so that's kind of wild. So I definitely am gonna have enough pulls, at least in the standard side of things. They give us Rebecca for free. I really only wanted Rebecca, especially from my understanding. These characters are pretty ass, to put it mildly. Now I don't know what they've been really thinking about or why exactly they made them so ass, but like. Dreamcatcher. So this is just for polls, right? Can I use it on this one? Okay, so you can use... No, you can't. Can you? No, you cannot. Okay. So, they give you polls. That's so ass, actually. Wow. Whoa, what the hell is going on, dude? What the fuck is this shit? I have 2 days left on this. It doesn't really matter. Not really. Because I know... Is she out yet? I don't think she's out yet. Because I know she's coming out, but, That is so ass though. Like, and I mean, I was gonna give you like a whole speech. Like, hey guys, we're gonna have some more updates. And honestly, I'm thinking of probably playing the game a little bit more. I'm not sure if I've considered playing on my phone, like story wise. It wouldn't look better, but I'm not sure how well it would run realistically, like to the max. Even if I'm just gonna max out the settings, it would be nice to kind of see how it runs as well. But again, it's one of those things that like my computer would probably just by default this would probably look better, but hard to tell. But yeah, so yeah, again, updates with my phone. That's kind of it. That's kind of it for today. Got a new phone. We're gonna see if we can play it next week. I think next week's gonna be mobile week. We're gonna try and see how much of my of just how well games perform on my new phone would be the main thing, right? I think the second thing would be if they perform very well, if we'll start doing maybe like a mobile day, where we're just kind of see how games are performing, because the thing is, right? It's a $500. It's a $500 device, right? My old one, technically also a $500 device. This is one of those things, right, where over time, newer technology is going to keep coming. I know that. If performance over time, because it's not going to happen every fucking time, again, only if I realistically broke things or if it really starts running like dog shit. I'd like to see what happens, realistically, is the main thing, right? I want to see if every game with not super new generational tech, it's against a couple of generations, technically 24, we have the 26 at this point, right? I want to see how well it performs, right? For how long? For like how much time? Because my phone's really... WUWA was something I kind of could run okay. I want to see how Senless does on my new phone. If it still runs like dog shit, I think we're gonna have to talk, dude. Because there is no reason I should be spending $1,000 or close to that for new generational phones. If in a couple of years, with the new generation comes, it still runs remotely the same. And I hate that. I hate that that's like a possibility, right? There is no reason that a $500 device, or even up to $1,000, because that's kind of realistically what they kind of came out on release. So, on release phones being $1,000 should not deprecate over the 2 years. Should not deprecate that much. I think Samsung S10 Plus came out definitely way like Samsung S10 Plus came out like probably like way long ago. So I got mine in 2022. It came out in 2019. So I got it 3 years after release. The Samsung S24, I got it 2 years after release. At least from my understanding, right? But we're talking now, 2024. We're talking now approximately 6 years of updates in phones. So yeah, January 1st, 2024. So we're talking approximately at least two closing into 3 years of updates, right? But it is definitely newer, approximately 7 years, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years newer than my old phone. So if I'm expecting some better performance, to put it lightly, and it's definitely a scaling of like ages at this one. Again, I'm not always gonna go for the newest stuff because it's not really been proven or tested. With performance updates, it should be pretty good, but again, there's always the new tax, right? If you get a new phone, like the latest one, you're gonna run into a couple of issues, such as, what am I thinking of? I'm thinking of, so say you get a new phone, perhaps it's so new that you don't actually have not necessarily security updates. It's probably more likely, your phone is so new that there's not enough. What am I thinking of? Collaboration, actualization. with newer. Compatibility. Yeah, it's the issue of compatibility. A lot of things with devices like that is compatibility issues. It is the main thing that you just have like new technology. It's not really been kind of bug tested enough time. Perhaps there's not enough access to certain like USB type devices, or maybe not enough time has passed for developers to make merch, or like not necessarily merch, accessories, kind of like things that are supportive of it. Yeah, software growers manufacturing files. First production batches of a new model are often prone to physical defects like poorly soldered connection. They're sold at a premium to general drum price and receive bug fixes months later. So, again, stuff like that is something you have to kind of like take care of. So, I don't like buying stuff off rip, because you kind of, unless it's like something like a new food item. Maybe it might taste shit, but it's like a $5 to $10 meal kind of thing at that point. Ideally, right? Maybe it's $20. I'm like, God damn, it's expensive. But even then, you're not out $1,000 kind of thing, right? Or maybe fucking $1,400, because like I like to buy the good shit, the better than fucking normal shit. Because why would I buy if I'm buying something old? I'm buying the stuff that costed a guy $1,400 off release. So once they sell their broken device, or realistically they turn in their device that just is out of date for the newer shiny things, what's going to happen to me is that I get a device that was taken care of for the majority of the time, and that I can use for years and years of some stuff. So that's kind of like one of the things, right? So once we check out, once my phone realistically, because it's been going at it for a couple hours at this point, and I think it's probably gonna like finish up in like, oh, the lag. That lag was kind of brutal. I'm gonna go in here, a little bit of that, but yeah, once my phone finishes downloading, I think ideally it's gonna start next week, so watch out for that. We also do have a minigame Mondays that I have not done yet, because Nick actually just released a new minigame, and realistically an event. Arc Rangers is what they added. So we're gonna be checking that out Monday, I think. So if you ever check that one out, on Monday ideally, depending on again what time I wake up to. Ideally, it should be out at 10 p.m. So make sure to check that out. So all right, I'm trying to think. I think that might be it for today. I don't think I have any more updates. Tech wise, same shit as always. Shit's expensive. Don't want to buy it. I had to basically buy a refurbished item at this point. So I'm fine with phones being refurbished. I'm fine with, again, being pre-manufactured. It's not an issue. That's a phone. That's like something I just take with me and just make sure it's not super crazy. So we'll leave it at that. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Mobile week next week. We'll figure that out. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Have a good one. Let me know if you have any questions, comments down below. Performance, I'll let you know. I'll let you know once I've tried it out next week. Or well, ideally it should be tomorrow, but I have work tomorrow and like the day after, so we'll figure that one out. So have a good one. Stay solid, and bye bye. Nope, the button doesn't work. Come on, man. All right, have a good one.